So we're currently on our way to. We've got a full packed day today. We've got a client meeting this morning for someone who's interested in signing up in the development services. We're picking up keys for another site that we've secured for a client, which is quite interesting because it's got quite a few structural issues. So I'll let you know how we've overcome those. Thirdly, we've got a valuation booked in for midday. So again, I'll try and document as much as I can on that. And then lastly, we've got a new apprentice joining us, shadowing us for the day. So hopefully there may be another member of the Savoys team. So I'll keep you posted.
Yesterday, yeah, the 124 seemed to be. Yeah.
24 is the one I've just spoke to an agent about.
Oh, really?
So I don't actually know him.
Okay.
So the process when we buy stuff here is I don't usually view them.
Yeah.
I have an architect here locally, so he'll do all my viewings for me. So just coming up with Ronnie, we just saw a board. I've never recognised them. And
I did see yesterday.
That agent's
up for 260.
The agent's based in. So he's not even local. So even just called him now. He said he can't do a viewing today because obviously he's in. But he knows the architect, so the architect will arrange to do a viewing, and then we'll offer subject to that. It's really handy. So we'll show you that one. I've got a couple of rooms empty in that one, so that's done. This is still in the process.
A couple of weeks away. Is it the 6-bed as well, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. I did see, if you look how they do flats as well along the road. So
a lot of them are already flats.
Yeah.
So the one I got over there was flats.
Yeah.
The issue we have with flats, if you want to create HMO, the issue we have with flats is that if it's a flat, you don't get the PD rights to create a loft. So you have to go through full planning. What I requested on that one was a statute declaration from the previous owner to say that he no longer used it as 2 flats.
Okay.
Because when you go onto council tax, when I typed in the postcode, it came up as ground floor flat and top floor flat.
Yeah.
So what I didn't want to do, because I didn't want to create 2 flats, I wanted to create a HMO.
Yeah.
What I didn't want to do is when I applied for the loft conversion, the planning department see it as a flat, and then all of a sudden my permitted development rights are gone. And I'm not going to say it's a difficult application to get approved, but it's still the fact that I have to go for full planning. I can't start works. So we had a statutory declaration, we submitted that alongside our planning application, the planning officer, because we did a certificate of lawful development, just in case. So then they allowed us to do the loft conversion because it had actually been reverted back to a house. But yes, a lot of Reading is either HMOs, a few of them are family homes, and a lot of them are 2-bedroom flats. This was the old living room. We got rid of a chimney here to make it a little bit bigger, so that's like steel beams over there. On these ones we create two kitchens. The reason why we make 2 kitchens is this won't meet the minimum space requirements on its own. So for 6-bed HMO, you need a 7 square metre room, which is probably thereabouts, but it's not adequate for 6 tenants. So because the layout's very similar upstairs, we have sandwich a kitchen in the middle. There's no planning required for that. Everything's internal anyway. So this cumulatively it needs to meet more than the minimum space requirements. So let's say this is 6 or 6.5. Upstairs is about 5. So cumulatively it's about 11 square metres, so it meets the minimum space. And it's probably more ideal.
For the kitchen?
7. But it's council dependent. So you have to check which council you're going through. And they have a HMO mandatory licensing documentation where it goes through all the minimum space requirements. So national minimum square for the rooms are like 6.51. But each council may differ. Opted to use a national minimum space one, so it's absolutely fine. But also, like I was saying, because it's over 3 floors, it's probably better to have a kitchen sandwich in the middle, just because if someone's cooking hot,
always come down.
Exactly, and you take your food all that way. So it's a small kitchen, but there's a reason why.
Are you going to box through this out, or?
Yes, that will be boxed up. So that's a mega flow tank, so I'm going to box this up, hence why the space even further reduces. But then what we'll do is allocate some of these cupboard space to the ground floor rooms, and then upstairs maybe to the upper floor room. So this was the old kitchen bathroom. So we just opened it up, created an ensuite just under the stairs. And then I'll show you outside quickly. We get rid of grass everywhere we can, just because then you have to pay for a gardener in the summer every probably week.
It's not going to be maintained.
So we just tarmac the space. This is the communal area for all the students. There's actually a park at the back. We left it open just because it's a little bit light comes in, and also that's a fence maintained by the council. So it's just, and that's a park, so it's no issues. That's the dormer that we did at the tops. Additional groups.
Right.
So This is where the layout is 2 in each floor. So on the terrace house, you can do a dormer up to 40 cube. So the L-shaped dormer altogether, cumulatively, is 38 cube. You can do up to 40 for a terrace house. When it's a semi-detached, it's 50. And this is all PD. This is not planning. So I think on this one, we just reduced the head height on the floor below just to get that extra head height.
Even level 1.
So level 1, the floor above, we just reduced that head height slightly. It was about 2.4. We reduced it to about 2.3. And so upstairs, when you go into the front room with the eaves, you'll notice that you can actually walk. So they disregard 1.5 meters. So that agent, the reason why he's selling it, is his mum's property. That's why he's based in Henley, so obviously he's not going to do any sales. I've never seen his board.
So when this was completed,
2 weeks ago.
Okay. Oh wow. So generally you can turn up roughly 4 of them before you get a HMO license.
So, no, you need to apply for it.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Just give me a second, let me just get the code. Yeah? So a room like this would be about 750, 750. It's a very slight marketing. It's probably a little bit unfortunate timing with where we are because of Christmas time. So in terms of what we do now, so you'll see over here, we don't give TV. We used to give TVs in certain rooms we will give TVs. On this one, we just decided to give them TV brackets. So if they're going to put a TV up, we'll rather than put it on the brackets rather than creating their own holes.
Yeah.
And you'll see just below there's a little socket, which is a Cat 6 cable. Yeah. So it just allows them to connect to. Most people have got smart TVs nowadays, so we stopped using terrestrial aerials. We use more Cat 6 because most people want. You know, they can access it online. So that's why we provide that. And then there's also a desk here. Yeah, so we do fitted wardrobes, just to optimise the space.
Good.
So I'll show you the kitchen's slightly bigger on this one.
Yeah.
It's a slightly bigger kitchen. In fact, this was a lean-to that was here originally. So we just retained the lean-to, just made it a bit more presentable, and then just created a little area for the tenants.
Yeah.
There is still another kitchen upstairs, so this is the main one, I would say. And if you span over there, you'll see that we don't actually put the washing machines upstairs. We do create 2 washing machines downstairs because noise. We do soundproof, but we don't want to really have a washing machine on the first floor. For obvious reasons. So part of the licensing requirements will require you to have 2 of these.
You label them up for issues and
just to make it so. And the reason why we do that is for management. So when let's say room A, they move out, rather than asking all the tenants, is this your stuff? You just go into room A and the agents will just literally empty all of that in all the contents in these. There's no excuse then. No one will say, oh, it's mine, or you know. So we try and label as best as possible.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah.
So cool. So you'll notice that we have keyless, and that's again just from maintenance perspective.
100%. I've seen in many of the videos, Savoys videos, noting this.
Yes.
Oh, it's quite spacious.
Just I've got the doors. Yeah. Same. So the process stays the same. We don't change the colour scheme or anything. We like to keep it as consistent as possible.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes we used to paint them different colours, but a palette that just attracts all different types of tenants is what we want. At the end of the day, the whole point is to rent these out as quickly as possible. So just keep it very simple. Nice. The layout is a kind of match of the one we've just seen. The non-suite's just in here. So same. Yeah.
It's a nice and sweet.
Yeah, it's very nice. Entirely were quite good choices, to be honest. On every floor, we just tell them what the issues are with fire safety. We give the addresses for each person, and there's downstairs is also a fire evacuation plan. It gives you the evacuation point meeting. So a lot of safety information is all around the property. Yeah. We have obviously fire exit signs, etc. Sure. That's mandatory to have. There is availability for commercial resi. It's just I don't think there's going to be an abundance of stock.
It would take about 6 weeks or 8 weeks
for the loft.
Yeah.
So once we expose the roof, you're probably looking at about 6 weeks.
Okay.
So we're contending with Christmas holidays, so we'll just see if we can speed up the process. Please be very careful, yeah?
Yeah, sure.
We are in, and you may remember, this is the one that David tried to open. Oh, that didn't sound good.
Plasterboard, that's just plasterboard.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, perfect. This is the one we bought at a super price because there was an issue with the lintel, so that was causing some movement. So this, from the agent's point of view, was unmortgageable, I believe. Anyway, they had an offer accepted at 320. They identified this issue with the lintel. As you know from being a structural engineer, that a lintel was a minor issue. We identified that from our architect / structural engineer, which came and viewed the property, said that it's a quick fix. We offered 280, got that accepted. Got the keys last week. Initial notice was in last week. We started works and currently at the strip out phase, so the dormer will be going up, hopefully fitted before Christmas. We are currently near towards the end of November, so 4 weeks, let's see. I'm sure we can get it done. Yeah. But usually it takes 6 weeks, so we've got to have to speed up by a couple of weeks. But no, so this is just showing you this layout will be pretty much a replica of first one you saw. No, my one, the one you just saw now. So you'll have a kitchen here, chimney will be gone, room, upstairs 2 rooms.
Yeah, you have a steel board.
Yeah, so steels will come in. Yeah. This one most likely won't be steels, might be a bracket because you've got the floor above. So we're just going to see, we're just checking if we've got the height above to make sure if we need to drop these joists. But when this chimney comes out, it would be a bracket system, and that's where the engineer needs to come probably just check and design that part.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you? Or? When this was an auction, isn't it?
No, next door was.
Yeah.
No, this one. I bought the one because I bought next door. Next door was Cherry Shop.
It was like an orange.
Yeah.
Banner.
So it was an auction with Savoys 2.5 years ago.
Yeah. It got sold for like, what was it, 275?
I bought it for 280. No, 320.
Wow, nice.
320.
Very good deal.
Yeah, so the only slight negative is that access is down the back. So I had to tarmac all of this because this was all just like that.
This is rubbish.
Yeah. And so I had to obviously tarmac it. So for the flats we will do keys, but for the HMO rooms we usually tend to do
Empty buckets.
yeah, exactly that.
So can you see the family recently?
Come in, I'll tell you. Just to give you a bit of background on this though.
Yeah.
This was a garage.
Right.
This was an actual garage.
Yeah.
Like a proper shutter and everything. So we applied for Class MA.
Right.
We had a few issues with the light, so we had to get a light survey done. So as you can see, there's windows, but on the plans, we had these windows on with this thing, and obviously we had this as an opening. So we done a light survey, that came back okay. So we managed to get that first before we applied for Class MA. Once we got Class MA approved, we then applied for full planning to change the shutter into 2 windows. Okay. Because obviously it doesn't really look right if you've got a shutter. And that's why, so this meets the minimum space, but it's such a funny layout.
Yeah.
So that I came with the planning officer to measure up, and we both got the same sort of measurement, about 38.5. It's just because it's so difficult, it wasn't going to measure.
For the single bed, isn't it?
Minimum is 37.
37, yeah.
So we were about a square metre over, which is great. And yeah, so we created a nice studio in here. This was just worthless. So the previous occupier who ran the retail shop used this as storage. And then we had to get a statutory declaration to say, look, can you just say that you used it as storage?
Yeah.
Basically, exactly what you've done.
Yeah.
And then what we do, then it becomes Class E. If it wasn't as a storage unit, it's no longer Class E.
Yeah.
So because it's an extension of storage.
So it's the commercial, then it is.
Exactly. So then we managed to get the Class MA PD rights to do this.
Okay.
And then so in terms of units, so we've got a shop at the front, which you saw. We've got a flat at the back of the shop, Class MA, for this flat. And then above we've got a dormer, and then we've got 5-bedroom HVAC. Half an hour, got the value of the
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, no, so this was a garage space. This is the only one that's vacant that I can really show you. The one that we've got in there is beautiful. We put this nice skylight in there, make it a little bit more airy. We own next door. Next door was done just before this. We secured this because we were on site. So he was mentioning if he saw an auction. That one was auctioned 2 years ago with Savoys, purchase price was 320,000. We done the exact same there, aside from there was no garage at the back. So we had no garage, it's just a full pathway.
This is a bit of a bonus,
And then whilst we were here, so one of my business partners actually just started chatting to the owner of this property, as in the retail unit. He owned it was like an air conditioning company.
Oh, right.
And I think during COVID, his obviously business was impacted. At the beginning when we asked, he said, look, I'm not going to sell. And then by and large, he came up to my business partner after and said, look, I'm looking to sell now. COVID's impacted my business. So yeah, it's just.
At the right time, so yeah.
Well, we were here anyway, and you just got, when you're doing any project, if you're doing it in an area that you want to focus on, that's the conversation you need to be having with people, especially on parades where it's like a tertiary parade. That was an independent business. You could kind of see that COVID was going to impact his business anyway, because every time we were here, he was super quiet in his shop.
It's really nice.
It was a challenge, and then obviously the only thing that we had to consider was obviously when you look up there, you can see. It's just the electric system. But you can see these little, of course, a misting system rather than sprinklers.
Okay.
So we use an iris because the fire engine can't actually access that road. So for fire safety, they need to have I think it's a 5 metre clearance. Because they need to bring the fire engine in and have the ability to turn around. Because they don't have that access to this flat and the flat behind. When you do your building control initial notice, obviously it goes out to the fire consultation. Because we had it next door, we already knew that they were going to definitely say that we need either a sprinkler system or a misting system. So we just inquired straight away. A lot more cost effective. It doesn't run off your mains, it runs off the electric. Whereas a sprinkler runs off your water mains, and obviously You want to make sure there's adequate pressure. It's a lot more of an upgrade.
Yeah, but this is acceptable too, isn't it?
This is acceptable. And when a sprinkler system goes off, it's going to cause complete damage in the property. With a misting system, it's a mist. Obviously, we're fortunate enough to have never had tested it. But we've been told it's as effective as a sprinkler system. So, and you can see the points, and they design where the points go. So they'll come in, they'll do a survey. They'll say, look, you need here and here and here. Obviously, main area is going to be this area for fire. And then so in this flat and the flat behind, we had it. But in the HMO we don't, because the access is the front. So the fire engine can actually access that parade and do it. So we just finished a site visit with our client where we've completed a HMO transformation into 6-bedroom, 6-hall ensuite. And the client bought this probably about 9 months ago, and it's the first time she's actually seen the property today. So yeah, she's over the moon. We had a couple of issues with council tax enforcement notices, but won't get too much into that. And now we're off to see another property where we've just picked up the keys for another client site. So this is a 3-bedroom semi-detached house converting to a 6-bedroom all-ensuite HMO. There is plans potentially to add a 7th and 8th room, but we're not looking at exploring that just yet. So we're doing the first tranche, which is the rear extension and loft conversion. So we're going to see that site now, so I'll catch you in a second.
Hardy, where are we? What is this? What's going on?
1 second, let me find out which key it is before I look like an idiot. So we are at another client site, if I can open it.
Oh my god. Just completed on this one as well.
Just completed on this for a client, so welcome. Like most of the properties that we buy, it's in a pretty rotten state at the moment. But I do want you to get before this, Ronnie, show them what it looks like at the moment, and hopefully in about 6 months' time we're going to see a massive transformation, adding a rear extension and a loft conversion, as I mentioned in the car. So a lot of work to do, and the work starts from tomorrow, really. So let's watch the space.
Ronnie, you're going to show us around and tell us what the issues with this
Right, let me come have a look. There's a lot of issues with this particular one. All across this property is this huge crack. If you go in that room as well, it kind of is a continuation of the same thing. So we had a structural surveyor come in, and initially he thought we needed to underpin the property. From a second opinion from the same company, we had another surveyor come in, a little bit more of a senior surveyor, who actually reviewed it and said it wasn't underpinning required. There's some movement because of the guttering and the side flank wall. I think again, it's a lintel issue, so we need to review that. The report's been done, the building control drawings have been done, so we just got to do some minor repairs. So it's not as bad as first thought with underpinning, so that's good news. But yeah, it's not good.
Okay. That's insane.
This one is not that bad. I think you get to that. I think that might be.
So I'm guessing this one you were able to purchase for quite a discount, considering the massive crack.
Yeah, so we got this. So properties on the same road go for about 310,000. We secured this for a client at 265,000. Obviously, there's a lot more work. Conditions run down, so there's always going to be a discount. And the agent that we bought it off, we worked really closely with, bought a couple through them already, so they knew we were going to transact quite quickly on this one, which we have. So it's a probate property as well, so all the probate has gone through. So that was a delay, but yeah, we've got the keys now, so we're ready to start. So guys, it's been a super busy day today. We had a site visit this morning, valuation this afternoon, another client meeting this afternoon as well, and then also lastly, we picked up keys for another client project where we're converting a 3-bedroom house into a 6-bedroom all-ensuite HMO. So if you want to understand more about how we develop our HMOs and do commercial to residential conversions, and actually visit the sites that we've shown you today, as well as others, we've put together a Savoys VIP community where you can find out more information in the link in the description. So before you leave the video, I love saying this, please like and subscribe.